What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I don't know if the stream's actually started yet, but here we are, streaming. And there's Joey chewing on her toy. And here I what's up, guys? It's been a minute. Haven't seen you guys in a couple weeks. I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas, New Year's. Oh my god, it's 2023. Isn't that crazy? What's up, Samuel? The Cube Guy. What's up, Kirk? All right. I'm still getting situated here. Okay. Everything's set up pretty good for the most part. Let me hold on. I gotta go grab something or like turn off something. Hold on. Good girl. Okay, be good. And we're back. Now it's so quiet in here. Okay, so I'm going to wait for a few more people to get in here, bro. Okay, I was going to say the Wi-Fi. I thought the Wi-Fi was tripping out, and we can't have the Wi-Fi tripping out. Just unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. So if we do if I switch, oh no. Okay, hold on. I got to do some setting up. Bro, it's so annoying. I don't know why this... All right, you can't see. Okay, we're going to be talking about some bikes that are a good deal. Yo, Haro is in here, Aaron. Haro is in the list, actually. Because Haro's been making moves. That's what I've been saying. Anytime people ask about Haro, I'm like, yo, this is actually surprising. This Haro bike is a good deal. And so for some reason, this is not working right. Okay, there we go. All right. Okay, I just had to get that set up and like make sure I'm in the camera because that's what we're doing in this live stream. What's a Beakzot? Bro, you used to be in the live streams like months ago. That's crazy. It's good to see you in here, man. Hope everything is going swell. Okay, so we'll just get right into it. Okay, here's how this is going to work. We're going to talk about 5 BMX bikes, the best 5 BMX bikes that you can get for under $500. Okay, and we will also be talking about... Actually, I want to see how they score in the Dougsterbob app too. Doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter that much. No, it doesn't matter. All these bikes are decent that we're going to do. But anyway, at the end of that part of the video, then we will be, I'll be answering your guys' questions. So if you have questions, throw the questions in here and I'll answer them after this section. But let's go through, let's talk about 5 bikes under $500 that are a good deal. I'm going to make this into its own video. So I've got to do like an intro and all that good stuff. What's up, Jared, Palsy Paul, Christian, V, Hake. All right. We got, man, all the homies. A lot of you guys I haven't seen here in a long time. Look at Joey. Oh, she's so cute. She's so cute. Okay. Anyway, we're back at it. Hold on. Let's center this. We'll get Joey's head in there anyway. All right. Oh, I got to hit record on my camera. All right. We're ready. Okay, guys, what's up? So today we're going to be talking about the top 5 BMX bikes that you can get for under $500. This list is as of like right now because, you know, if I would have made this list last year, we would have seen some other bikes like the Division 4Ts, the Kink Whip, you know, some of those bikes. Now, as time changes, bike prices go up. Some bikes go out of stock. Some bikes are hard to find. So as of right this second, right now, these are the best bikes that you can get for $500, okay? $500 or less. And I think it's important to note, you know, I always talk about the free bike recommendation, but if you guys just I will find the right bike for you, because some of these bikes might not be it. There's a lot of things that go into it, you know, the top tube size, your budget, what skill level you are, things like that. Because if you are a brand new rider, you might not need a bike that costs $500. You might need a $400 bike, $300 bike. Or if you're really experienced, you're going to have to up that budget to get something decent. Okay. Anyway, here we go. Okay. Let's switch it over here. Here we go. We got bike number, wait, hold on. Oh my God. Anyway, I thought I was ready, but I mean, like, I am ready, but hold on. I got to add one more bike. It's a fly. So we got a lot of fly bikes in here. Oh my God. Hey, it wouldn't be a live stream if I wasn't fumbling around, right? Right. Okay. Okay, don't look at that one. Don't look at that one. Oh, switch it quick. Okay, cool. All right. So we're going to, I wish these were in a particular order, but they're not in a particular order. Bike number 5 is going to be the Sprosa Salvador. So the Sprosa Salvador, it has a, the 20.5 Salvador option. It has a 21-inch Salvador XL option. And then it's got a Salvador Free Coaster and a Salvador Park. So there's a lot of Salvador options. Quality-wise, they all score very, very similar. Quality-wise, the XL, the Salvador Free Coaster, like, they're all the same. The variances you run into is like how good it is for street, how good it is for park, and things like that. There's like a mic delay. Is there a delay for you guys? Anyway, I guess it doesn't matter. Tell me if it delays, but anyway, we'll just get back to it. So anyway, the Salvador is $400. It's on sale right now. It's $100 off. So even for $500, the full MSRP, this is still a decent bike. I think it scores like a 3.6 in quality on the Dougsterbob app, but basically it's not a full chromoly frame. It's only a tri-moly frame, and finding a full chromoly frame in 2023 for under $500 is damn near impossible. So this is cool. We got tri-moly. The thing that you need to worry about is the back end of the bike, doing a McTwisty, because this back end right here is high tensile steel and this is chromoly, so that's good, but this is bad. High tensile steel, no good. It comes in the 20.5 or the XL 21-inch option. It only weighs 25.9 pounds. That's pretty solid, but the rims are single wall. And again, that's another thing you need to worry about. That back rim could potentially do a McTwisty and bend up because it's single wall, especially if you're a heavier rider. With the quality of this bike, I wouldn't really recommend it for anybody who weighs less than, or who weighs more than like 150 pounds, and that's pushing it. Again, because the high tensile steel, the single wall rims, these parts will just take a lot more abuse, especially if you're heavier. They're gonna bend and break. Okay. Let me change this too. Hold on. Boom. Okay, we had to change that. A little delay. There is delay. I know there's delay. Oh, bye. Is that better? Oh, I turned off buffering. Okay, that's better, I think. I'm like moving my lip to try and see. Oh well, maybe this is better. Maybe it's worse. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Okay, back to the Salvador. So tri-moly frame, chromoly steer tube on the forks. That means the legs are only high tensile steel. It's got a Rant Trill top load stem. Everything on it is fully sealed, even the hub. Which is important. Usually on a bike with the similar quality to this, you're going to see an unsealed front hub. This one's got the sealed hubs. And okay, and so that's the bike. Okay, the Salvador is on the list. It's under $500, and right now at this sale price, it's like an exceptionally good deal. For $499, I'd say like you could probably spend a little bit more and get something quite a bit better. For $399, you can't really beat this. If you do get this bike, just make sure you're under 150 pounds, because I don't want you to put unnecessary stress on the bike. And cause problems and have issues with it. I do not want that to happen. Okay, next on the list is going to be a fly bike. It's the Fly Electron. Okay, number 4 on the list, the Fly Electron. Now, here's the story with Fly. As I make more stuff, more content, I noticed that fly bikes are pretty good. They're really good, actually. But 2 years ago, they were not so good. This bike, this Electron BMX bike, which I have here in a box. I need to do a video on it, but I'm waiting on Fly. Anyway, I'll get a real hands-on review on this one for you guys, so stay tuned for that. But 2 years ago, this was like a $500 bike, and $550, and I'm like, hey, this is kind of overpriced. And now for $400, the same price as the Salvador. Let's see what you get. One, it looks nice. Okay, it looks very nice, and you get different options. 20.5 or 21 inch, and you can choose right hand drive or left hand drive, and you can choose the color. I appreciate that Fly gives you the option here, because some people would rather do left hand drive if they grind on the right side, and some people would rather do right hand drive. Like, it's nice to be able to change that on a complete bike, and you cannot do that on any other complete bike except like the high end Sundays and the high end We the Peoples. Those are the only other options. So this, for a $400 bike that gives you the ability to choose right hand drive, left hand drive, it's incredible. Very incredible. Okay, but what makes this bike worth $400? Well, it only has a chromoly down tube. Everything else is high tensile steel. And so where the Salvador had a chromoly front triangle and then a high tensile steel back end, the Fly Electron only has a chromoly down tube, which is cool because primarily if you have issues with high tensile steel, it's going to be this head tube crinkling. And so I've had this happen a number of times, but I nose case something and then the, nose case something and then the high tensile steel frame just twists in like that. And with a chromoly down tube, that's going to stop that from happening. It's not a huge selling point, but it is, I understand the sentiment. Like, I understand why they did that. I get why they put it there. The forks are chromoly, and it's a one-piece steer tube with high tensile steel legs. So very similar to the Salvador. Okay, the bars are high tensile steel. This bike only weighs 24.9 pounds, and it's a loose ball front hub. So that's what I was talking about there on the Salvador again, is that like most bikes with this level of quality are going to be a loose ball front hub, and that's exactly what the Electron is. So I wouldn't recommend the Electron over the Salvador right now, because the Salvador is the exact same price. When the Salvador is its $500 MSRP, that's a little bit different. Okay, but when the Electron is the same price as the Salvador is going to be a much better option. But the Electron is a solid bike that scores in the 3s or so. Okay, for quality, it scores in the 3s. But if we step it up, I'm trying to decide which one to do next for number 3. I think we're going to do another Fly for number 3. This bike is $80 more than the Electron, but it is much, much better. It's $479. Bike number 3 is going to be the Fly Proton. You again can choose right-hand drive or left-hand drive in between the colors, and you can decide if you want it brakeless or you want to have brakes. Just get the brakes. Get it with brakes, and then if you don't put them on, that's cool. Okay, but if you anyway, get them with the brakes so you have that option. They look nice, and one thing that's cool is they have a Proton Street, and they just have a street specific version. This bike has pegs and hub guards, and for a bike under $500 to come with 4 pegs and 4 hub guards is actually crazy. That's actually crazy. I can't think of any that come with pegs and hub guards, especially around this price point. You get like the Kink Williams for $1,000 comes with pegs and hub guards. I think the Street Sweeper for $700 comes with pegs and hub guards, but that's way more than this bike. Anyway, looks beautiful. It's only available in the 21-inch top tube, and that could be a bummer for the smaller riders who want a cool bike with pegs and hub guards. That's a bummer. Okay, but 21 inch is good for me. So like we're chilling. Quality wise, we've got a full chromoly frame. We've also got a full chromoly forks with a one-piece steer tube and full chromoly bars. So already, like, this is silly. Okay, this is absolutely silly that the Electron is $400 and it's only got a chromoly down tube. and a chromoly steer tube. That's really it. For $80 more, you get this much better bike, pegs, hub guards. You get full chromoly frame, full chromoly forks, full chromoly bars. It's like, yo, this is crazy. This is a crazy step up. Everything's obviously fully sealed, okay? And it weighs 24.6 pounds, right under 25 pounds. It's this is one of the best values that you can get, and I've definitely slept on fly bikes in the past. I've ignored how good fly bikes are, and yeah, I've ignored it, and I've got a list. On my list is to hit the Flybike 2023 reviews. They've been making crazy changes and crazy moves, and I definitely appreciate that because I think they're making moves to get more people into the sport at a better price point, and that's exactly what I want to do. So this is awesome. Now, it's important to note here, these cranks, I think I saw Samuel say that it seems like 48 spline. That's what I thought too, but they're not. They're like 16 or something. They're better than 8 spline for sure, but they're not 48 spline, but they do have that 48 spline design. I know I thought the same thing, but that is not the case. Treble 3-piece. So anyway, they're like 16 or something. They're better than 8, but they're not quite 48 spline. Anyway, that's the Proton. But next on the list, number 2 gets even better, but the price goes up a little bit. We got Haro. This is the first time Haro's made it on a list where I wasn't talking bad about bikes. So everyone say like, congrats to Haro. Somebody brought this bike to my attention in a live stream, actually. They said, hey, what do you think about the Midway? And I'm like, Haro's a scam. And then I looked at it and I was like, actually, this is a good deal. This is a solid bike, good price. I was hyped on it, okay? And now it's $100 cheaper. So we saw the Salvador, $100 cheaper. We saw the Proton or the Electron for $399. Now the Midway's on sale for $399. And this bike is, yeah, I'd say close to Proton quality without the pegs and hub guards for $80 cheaper. So that's crazy. Anyway, the Haro Midway. This is the 2021. It's got a full chromoly frame, full chromoly forks, full chromoly bars, 9-inch rise bars. It's got double wall rims. It's a solid bike. Now, the thing here you're not going to see is like close attention to detail that you would see on the Proton. So for example, just look how clean this Proton looks. Nice, clean, attention to detail. It's got really nice parts. The Haro, I'm not talking bad about it, but the attention to detail is definitely going to be different on a Haro and on a Mongoose because these bikes are like more mass produced. And so they just don't have the same level of attention to detail. As a base quality bike, getting this full chromoly frame, forks, and bars is super important, especially for $400, because then you can make upgrades. And upgrading your pedals, upgrading your bars, upgrading your stem, upgrading your wheels, like that's a lot cheaper than upgrading your frame. And so getting this with full chromoly, super important because you don't have to worry about upgrading it. Anyway, I'm impressed with this Haro bike. It's kind of heavy. It doesn't have the weight listed here right now, but I think if I remember looking at it on Haro's site, it was about 28 pounds. And so this bike is significantly heavier than the other ones. But as a full chromoly bike, this bike's going to be solid. Weight limit of 180 pounds, maybe even more. Because it's solid. Okay, full chromoly everything. This is great. For this price is actually insane because for $500, like that's a good price. You can't find very many bikes with this level of quality. For $500, you definitely can't find it for $400. Okay, definitely can't. Definitely can't. But now number 1. We're going to do this bike as number 1 because I don't talk about them very often, but the Colt Control is a bike that I have definitely slept on. I've always overlooked it and said, hey, just buy the Colt Devotion. It's important to note though, the Colt Control is a 20.75-inch top tube, which makes it better for riders between 5'9" and 6 foot, where the 21-inch top tube is really only good for those people over 6 foot. And I think the Control fits a wider range of riders. I think the 20.75-inch top tube is going to fit more riders. And I like that. I appreciate that aspect because it's like most high-end bikes are going to be 21-inch top tube. And if that's not the right size for you, buying a bike is really frustrating. And I totally get that. Okay. Anyway, we got full chromoly frame, full chromoly. Ooh, chromoly steer tube on the forks. That's different. That is different. So that suggests that the legs are high tensile steel. Colt and Fit are very misleading about their bikes, but this is This is interesting. This is not good. Anyway, the bars though are full chromoly, and it's got a double wall rim in the back and a single wall rim in the front. So that was one thing I stress. If you guys can afford double wall rims front and back, go for it. Okay. But if you cannot, having a single wall rim in the front is going to be just fine, because the impact when you're doing tricks, it doesn't apply to the front wheel very much. If you nose case something, if you do something crazy and hit the front wheel, obviously it's going to take that impact. But when you're riding, majority of the time, this back end is going to take the beating. You learn 360s, you learn 180s. This back end goes and the wheel gets dinged, you break your wheel. So it's important to have a double wall rim on the back. Single wall rim on the front, or double wall rim on the front is cool, but I wouldn't say it's a super high priority thing. So for 500, you can get this full chromoly Cult Control. It's a good bike. And I'm going to rank it as number 1 because this isn't based off of sale price. But if we talk about what we're seeing right here, what I would recommend, the best bike on this list would be the Haro Midway, because it's only $400 and you've got full chromoly, you've got double wall rims, you've got all of that. So the Midway is a step up in quality from the Cult Control, and it's $100 cheaper. Aside from that, the Proton would be the next best thing because it's also full chromoly. It's $80 more than the Control at this, or $80 more than the Midway at the sale price, but it comes with pegs, it comes with hub guards, and it's a beautiful looking bike. And that would be the next best one. Okay. So anyway, those are the top 5 bikes right now that you can get for under $500. All of these bikes score at least a 3 in quality score. Some of them score closer to a 5.6. And just to give you some context, the Kink Whip scores like a 7.2. And unfortunately, the Kink Whip is not on the list this year because the Kink Whip is over $500. And some of these bikes, like, I would honestly say to go with the Proton over the Kink Whip this year. That is interesting. In the Kink Whip review, I was saying, hey, I don't know what the best value is going to be, but I think it's going to be the Proton right now. And it's sad, but hey, no kinks are on this list. The kink gap wasn't even good enough to make it on this list. Very unfortunate. Kink. Very disappointing. But anyway, that's the top 5 bikes under $500. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree or disagree with that list. All right. That is the end of that section, guys. All right. We got that rocking and rolling. Now, let's see if you guys had any good questions. I'm going to pop out the chat. Hey, what's up, Rob? How you doing? Yo, we got the Brant Moore trolls in here. Okay. If I get bombed on a live stream, I'm not ever mad, because I was in Brant's live stream a couple days ago and I wasn't trolling. Brant just ignores me, but I was just talking, sharing my Dougsterbob thoughts. And Kyle was in there, and Kyle wants to fight me. And so anyway, Kyle and I were talking a little bit of smack back and forth. It's fun, so I don't mind the live stream trolling. It's cool. Anyway, I'm going to check out your guys' questions, but I need to get the questions set up. That's what I need to do. So give me 5 seconds to set up the questions. Joey's snoring right now. It's really cute. Okay, what is going on here? Oh, wait, let's... Bro, this is so frustrating. Sometimes I can have this set up ASAP Rocky, and sometimes it takes me a long time. Okay. That one. We want that one. Hey, what's up, David? I will I will get to your guys' questions in a minute after I tinker with this for a sec. So what I got to do here is I got to find the section. Oh my. Look, I don't use this for like a minute, for a couple weeks, and then oh, look, there's the whole screen. That's crazy. Hey, there it is. Okay, cool. Then I don't use it for a minute. Now everything's all messed up. I can't believe it. Hey, so what did you guys do for Christmas? Did any of you guys get new bike parts, new bikes? Like, let me know. What happened in Christmas? I got to know. I've got to add like an effect or something, or a filter. There. All right. I got it. I got it fixed. Okay, so let's click on these. Cool. That's working good for the most part. Yo, who got a... Did somebody say they got a Haro Midway? We were just talking about the Haro Midway. That is crazy. Speaking of the devil. Oh, that's no good. I want to get it so like everything can fit in here, but that's as good as we're gonna get. Rob, you got to write shorter comments if you want. If you want your whole thing to fit in here, Rob, you got to write a shorter comment. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna scroll up to the top, guys. Put your questions in, and I got to shout out the homies who were in here first. We got Hake, we got V. I used to play this video game with this guy named V, and he was pretty cool. Damn. I was just telling this girl about this video game that I used to play, and it's the game I used to play with V. That's crazy. Okay, and Christian, our homie from New York. We love Christian. We got Beegzot, who has not been in here for a very, very long time. Jared, my favorite Dougsterbobber in Phoenix. Paul Z. Paul, our favorite BMX rider over 50. And Kirk, our favorite, I can't say favorite because we got Chief. I was going to say our favorite Australian rider. But we got Chief too. Chief is also our favorite Australian rider. So Kirk is going to be our favorite Australian rider named Kirk. All right, so I'm going to go through here. I'm going to look for your guys' questions, and yeah, then we'll just see what happens. I don't know, man. These live streams are always an adventure. Just throw your questions in, okay? Okay. Oh, Taco. We got Taco in here. What's up, Taco Slurpees? He says, is the ankle fully recovered now, Doug? I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. I'd say it's doing very well. It feels fine for the most part. There was one day, was it yesterday? The day before yesterday, I rode for the first time in Las Cruces, and my ankle was very stiff. It was very sore, not very fun, but for the most part, it feels good. It took a while to get there, but I am still riding in an ankle brace, okay? And let me tell you guys a story. Check this out. This is the Bigfoot. Oh, hello. This is the Bigfoot brace. And I think they're a company in the UK. But anyway, I got these Bigfoot ankle braces. And let me tell you, I filmed a video on it. I'll put it up soon, but I need to get some clips of me actually riding to put in the video. Otherwise, it's just a video of me talking. And that's lame. That's what all my videos are, and that's lame. But check this out. So the old ankle brace that I have to lace up. And it takes probably 25 hours to do it. It takes forever. These are like the Space Brace 2.0s. They're just Velcro straps that you just pull and then boom, pull and then boom. And then like, boom, it's laced up. And these are handy, man. These are really good braces. I was a little worried that they wouldn't offer the same level of protection, but after putting them on and figuring out how to put them on, they offer the same amount of protection as my lace up ones do, because like what I was worried about is that I wouldn't be able to get these as tight to actually protect my ankle, and you can. Okay, you can get them as tight, and it's just so quick and easy to put on. Really love them. Big love to Space Brace for shooting those over. And anyway, I'll put a video, my thoughts on it, my raw thoughts, my honest thoughts about them out very soon, but I need to get the clips. But anyway, what I was getting at, Taco, is yes, I think the ankle's fully recovered. I'm gonna always ride in an ankle brace now, especially on that ankle, because that's like been 2 pretty bad sprains in the last 6 months, and that's not good. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to protect it. Okay. Now I'm just scrolling through, looking for questions. Okay. Hake says fly bikes are rather jump trail orientated. Oriented. Anyway, for the most part, yes, fly bikes tend to have a bigger geometry, a more stable geometry, a more stable feel, and that is going to make the bike feel more comfortable at high speeds. So for example, since I still have it up, we could look at the, the Proton. And if we look at the Proton, it's got a 13.2 inch chainstay. It's got an 11.75 inch bottom bracket height and 21 inch top tube. So the Proton's just slightly on the bigger side. It's nothing crazy. But like the Moto Sierra and the Orion, I want to say, gets pretty dramatic with how stable the geometry is. Let me double check. Yeah, 13.7 inch chainstay on the Orion, 74.5 degree head tube angle, which is more mellow than we see normally, 9.25 inch standover height, 32 millimeter fork offset. So it does depend on the model, but as a general rule, most of fly bikes really are more stable, and therefore making them better for trail riding or really flowy riding. Like look at Larry Edgar, just goes really high and really fast, and he throws tricks in there. But Corey Walsh, like that type of riding is what most of these bikes are going to be best for. Micah says, what is the best parked bike regardless of the price? And I think he means park bike. The best park bike, regardless of price, would probably be the We the People Versus or the We the People Envy. Now, the Versus is technically going to be better for park if you are more of a responsive rider and you use brakes. So the Versus comes with a gyro. I think I saw GS in here. GS Media bought the Versus. He loves it. Anyway, it comes with a gyro. It comes with a low standover height, a responsive head tube angle, a short back end. Like the geometry on the Versus and the parts package, it's got this really smooth rolling. I think it's got the Mirage tires. And so anyway, the Versus is designed specifically for park. It's like $800, $800 US. And then the Envy makes an appearance on the list. It's not specifically designed for park, but it scores really well in park because of the crazy quality and the fact that it's very responsive also. It's a very responsive frame geometry for the Envy. So for park riding, I would check out the Versus or the Envy. Those would be my top 2 picks. Adveyu says, ooh, this is a good question. If it pops up. Hello. Bruh, hold on. This is so buggy. Is there any advancement in BMX buying from a 2023 or 2022 compared to a 2021? And the answer to that, it quit working again. How crazy. Wait, I like to have the questions on the screen for you guys. It's really not that big of a deal, but I do like it. I think it makes a difference. But it's not. It quit working. So we're gonna be over it, I think. There, we had to do a switcheroo. Okay. Okay. Are there any advancements to buying a 20, is it better to buy a 2023 or 2022 model over a 2021 model? And the answer is going to be no. For the most part, when a new bike year model comes out, nothing changes except the colors. So if you like colors more than, if you like the 2023 colors more than the 2022 colors, that's fine. And that would be a good reason to do it. But significant changes, no. One of the only changes we see are price increases. So for example, the 2021 Kink Whip, you could get for like $450 bucks or $500. The 2022 Kink Whip you could get for $500. Now the 2023 Kink Whip is $550, and nothing has changed. Still full chromoly frame, forks and bars, still Mission Mylar double wall rims, still 9-inch rise handlebars. Like nothing has changed except the colors and the price, and that's going to be the same for most bikes. Now, sometimes new models come out and things change. Like 2023 Sunday bike lineup had some very small changes to some of their models. Like the Soundwave was not available in a free coaster version anymore, or in a cassette version, one of the two. I can't remember off the top of my head, but the Soundwave model had some changes. Okay. And sometimes that'll happen when a new year comes out, but not very often. Generally speaking, the 2023 is going to be the same as the 2022, and the 2022 is going to be the same as the 2021. You can just get them quite a bit cheaper when they go on sale, and that's pretty cool. But yeah, for the most part, there's no significant changes. And when I do the reviews, if there are any changes, I do like to highlight that. And Kink didn't have any changes this year, and Sunday had some small changes, but not much. Okay. Looks like the fly bikes had quite a bit of changes, especially in price, and added some pegs and hub guards to the Proton. Like, anyway, sometimes there are changes, but not very often. Thomas got a good deal. He bought the 2022 Switch for $430. Man, that's a crazy good deal. Oh, I don't know. Let me check real quick. I don't know if maybe somebody answered your question, GS Media, but he says, how much is the Versus in the USA? Let's look on good old Dan's Comp. $779 in the USA. What is it in the UK? Yeah, about $800. Okay, so Rob is looking for a 24 or 26-inch bike. I'm assuming that's what he's meaning by his comment, 24 or 26-inch. Which of these under 500 would be ideal? It's a weight loss quest. He's 5'8", 260, and he wants to ride and jump off natural lips in the neighborhood, bomb off hills, no tricks, but looks for a bike that can hold up to torquing the crank. Rob, is your budget... Is your budget about 500? Is that your budget? The reason I ask is because for most of these bikes, for most bikes that have a quality score of 7 or below, I would really recommend keeping the weight limit under like 200. If your weight is going to be over 200, I think it's important to get a bike that has some aftermarket parts and has a little bit more quality put into it. So for example, for most people, say who are 220, 230 pounds, they would be looking at something like the Kink Whip, a quality score of 7 for $550. And I would say that's fine. And if you get something like that, I want you to keep an eye on things like the pedals bending, the wheels bending, the sprocket bending, things like that, because those aren't really strong aftermarket parts. And what I would instead say is if you have more of a budget, to these people who are looking at the Whip, what I would say instead is like, hey, if you can spend some more money and get a high-end bike, that's what you should do. And the only reason I say that is, so I weigh about 220 pounds. I'm a big guy, okay? I weigh about 220 pounds. And in my experience, riding bikes that are not aftermarket quality, they last for months, not years. They last for months. So I had first bike was a DK reaction bike. It's full high tensile steel. That lasted me maybe 4 or 5 months. And I wasn't a crazy good rider. I was doing tricks on it and I was jumping it and stuff like that. But I bent that bike, broke it up pretty good. The next bike was like a Black Eye Colorado, and that bike also bent. And then I got an Eastern Trail Digger, and that bike also just got destroyed. And so it wasn't until 4 or 5 bikes later that I finally built up a decent custom bike, and that bike lasted for quite a bit longer. And what I stress to people is, over the time, the amount of money that I spent on those 4 or 5 bikes that I broke equaled up to a very high quality custom BMX bike. And so it totally depends, like if riding is just like a hobby, what your longevity is. And so for you, Rob, it sounds like you just want to cruise, want to have fun, and use it as a form of exercise. And I would suggest a 20-inch still, because I think that's going to be more maneuverable and you're going to have more fun on it. If you just want to ride and cruise around, the 24, 26 is going to be fine, but quality on those bikes is going to be about the same no matter what. Most of those bikes have usually full chromoly, and what changes is the colors and the way they look. So don't stress about quality too much if you're going to look for a 24 or 26, but I would recommend going for a 20-inch instead of those. And if that is the case, you should get a 21-inch top tube or a 20.75. The 21 might feel more comfortable while you're cruising, and I would get the highest quality you can afford. So for your budget, get the highest quality that you can afford. Not because I think you're going to thrash the bike while doing tricks, but it would suck. Imagine this, okay? You spend $500 on a bike, you ride it for a few months, you break your chain, you bend your sprocket, and you bend your pedals. That's no fun. And fixing that's going to cost you maybe, I don't know, $125. And so that doesn't seem like very much, but man, in a few months, $125, that's crazy. And then let's say a few months later, you bend your bars, you bend your forks, and now you're like, oh man, this is tough. Now that's $300. Okay, that's $300 to fix forks and bars. And so anyway, it all adds up. And if you have the budget to spend on a higher quality bike, that's definitely what I would recommend. If you don't have the budget to spend on a higher quality bike, just expect little things to break here and there. Okay. And that's, like, I don't have a direct answer for you, like which bike that you should do, but I would recommend a 20-inch wheel size, 21 or 20.75-inch top tube, highest quality you can afford. At least get full chromoly frame, forks, and bars, and double wall rims. And then anything else on top of that is a big plus. Okay. Hope that answered your question. That was a long answer. I'm sorry, but I hope that answered it. Samuel has a really good point here. He says a lot of pros seem to ride 21-inch top tube even if they aren't over 6 foot. And why is that? So you're right. You're absolutely right. I always thought Logan Martin was on a small bike, and then somebody's like, no, he's on 21. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. And I think the reason for that is that these pros are riding really big courses. You know, everything's huge in pro world, and they like the stability that the 21-inch offers. So when I'm giving you guys a guideline, when I'm recommending bikes, when I'm recommending sizes, I think it's very important for everyone to understand that it's a baseline. Okay, so in my experience, I've rode a 20.5-inch frame, I've rode a 20.7-inch frame, I've rode a 19.5 was the DK reaction. It was a 19.5-inch top tube, and now I'm currently on a 21.25. And so in my head, based off of recommendations, the right size for me is going to be something like a 21.25. But I had to experiment with different sizes to figure out what I really liked. And that's important for you guys too. the recommendation, the size recommendation is definitely not something that's set in stone. It's something to use as a baseline. So when you first get into the sport, when you first get on a bike, I think it's important to follow that recommendation so that you ride a bike and you know how that bike feels. So you get into the sport, you follow the recommendation, you get a 20.5-inch top tube, you ride it, and you're like, okay, this was cool. But after a few months, I noticed that this bike loops out too quickly. It's too snappy. It's too unstable for me. And I want something a little bit easier to control. So now you're going to upgrade to a 21-inch top tube, okay? Or a 20.75. You're going to take that step up. But if you had just gone straight to a 21, you're going to find yourself like just in a weird situation of feeling things out. Whereas the recommendation gives you a good baseline that you can adjust from there. And that's how it should be used. Your second bike, your second bike should be a little bit different than your first bike, or once you buy it, you make some small upgrades to adjust the geometry and make it more specialized for yourself and more personal. But when you first start out, you don't know what that's going to feel like. You don't know what top tube's going to feel best. And so it's good to have that baseline. And that's what I use it for. It's not like get a 20.5 and never ride anything else. It's like, hey, start with a 20.5, see how it feels, and then make changes as you go. Because like I said, I've ridden all kinds of different top tubes, and it was important to bounce around. Okay, David says, do you think I will fit on a 21? I'm 5'9". Absolutely, David. The 21, if you're 5'9", is going to be fine. It's I talk about it on like the size guide. Just Google Dougsterbob size guide. I give you a little bit better explanation on it, but it's almost like a sliding scale. Okay. And so for you, the perfect recommendation is 20.75. Okay. For 5'9", the perfect bike size would be like 20.75. If you deviate from that, if you get a 20.5-inch top tube, you're going to have a more responsive feeling bike. If you deviate from it the other way and you get a 21-inch top tube, you're going to have a more mellow feeling bike. So the center is the more practical thing that kind of balances stability and control. And then deviating from it gives you adds different effects to your riding. So what you do if you get a 21, you're going to have a more stable feeling bike because you're 5'9". Whereas if you're 6 foot and you get a 21, that's an average feeling bike. And then a 21.25 is going to give you a more stable feel. Okay.
I'm not sure I understand.
Yo, Siri's talking to me. She had no idea what I'm talking about. I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Siri doesn't understand, but you guys understand. Okay. Harry says, should I buy the Fit Series 1? In my opinion, the Fit Series 1 is severely overpriced. Harry, if you can find the Fit Series 1 for a sale price, yes, I'd consider it. But at full MSRP, all the Fit bikes are overpriced, guys. I don't care what you say. I like Fit. You know, I like the brand. I like Chris. I like my friends that work there. But they're overpriced. Okay. The Fit bikes are overpriced. That's the end of the story. Fit aftermarket parts are a different story. Complete bikes overpriced. And I would stay away from the Fit Series 1. You know, for that price, you can get much better quality bikes. Rob, to answer this question, I don't off top, don't know anything about 24, 26-inch bikes because there's not much of a difference. Like I said, most of them have the same quality. The only difference is going to be their colors or, that's pretty much it. The colors, the quality on 24 and 26-inch bikes are all very similar. And so it's not something that you should stress too much about. If you're going to go with one of those bikes, just pull the trigger on one that looks good to you. Yo, Aaron got a Haro Midway for Christmas. Kirk broke 2 of his tie spokes for Christmas. Rob's girl got him a Shadow helmet. Yo, helmets are important, guys. Wear those helmets. That's awesome, Rob. You got a good girl there. Taco snapped his chain. Oh, man. Snacky says, I want to learn tail whips. Do you have any advice? Yes. I'm going to drink some water, and then I will provide you with the tail whip advice. Okay, are you ready? To land a tail whip, you just got to send it. That's it. That is the secret. You just got to send it. Just kidding. Tail whips are really hard. And I think a lot of people try tail whips too early because it's an easy trick to throw. It's a hard trick to land, but it's an easy trick to throw. Where bar spins are a hard trick to throw, but they're an easy trick to land. And so most people go for learning tail whips before bar spins because the idea of taking your feet off is far less scary than the idea of taking your hands off, right? Am I right? Can anyone resonate with that? Do you guys agree? That was my problem. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna learn tail whips. And because I just jump and do this with my bike, like, and that wasn't close, but it was easy to throw. Where a bar spin, I would not let go of a bar spin. No way in hell. I would not do it. So anyway, you got to make sure you're ready for the whip. We have a bike school video. Let me find it, where I talk about some things that you should be doing before you're ready to learn a tail whip. And I think that's important to make sure you are at that point. Make sure that you are tail whip ready before you even send the tail whips. That would be step number 1. Let me find it. I'll put it here in the chat for you guys. Pre-tail whip. Okay. And I just kind of talk about some things that you should be thinking about before you actually learn to tail whip. And without seeing where you're at, Snacky, it's impossible for me to like give you good advice and good feedback because I don't know what your struggle is. For me, learning tail whips was as simple as clamping my feet together and like thinking about clicking my heels when that whip came around. But I have friends who are not leaning forward, right? There's 6 trillion different things that could be wrong with a whip, and without seeing that, I just cannot help you out. Now, I don't know if you know this, but with Bike School, which is also, so the video is a Bike School video, but we offer membership. It's got in-depth how-to videos, so in-depth tail whip video that's different than the YouTube videos. It's just, I don't know, GS checked out the bunny hop video. He thought it was a pretty good video. All the videos are stupid good quality and really in-depth, but there's also an option for you to post your trick attempts and get feedback. And so that would help me give you good advice if I could see what you're doing. If I could see what you're doing, I could be like, yo, you got to turn your wrist down. You got to make sure you're leaning forward when you come out of the lip, and you've got to kick it with your back foot, not your front foot. It's like easy to see that and give that feedback. So anyway, I hope that helps a little bit. Watch that Bike School video and then join Bike School if you think that's a good fit for you, if you want that help. Advayu got a POC helmet. Bro, that's what I ride. Best helmet ever. You got lucky. Good choice. Good choice. Jared, I'm so sorry. So here's, like, you guys are the boys. I'm going to tell you guys what's going on. If you guys aren't the boys and you're just lurking here, but everyone else, no one else gets it. If you weren't in the live stream, you're not one of the boys. So yeah. I feel like somebody asked, how tall are you? James says, how tall are you? I'm 6'4". So I should probably be on a 21.5 or 21.25. I'm on the 21.25, so that's cool. Chief says, anyone riding more than 3 times a week and for the long haul go full custom. That's the lesson I've learned. Yeah, you've had a lot of headaches with your trust, man, and that sucks. But slowly you can upgrade it and make those changes, and you get something fully custom over time. Like, that's how my custom bike came about. I didn't build it fully custom from the ground up like I did this one behind me and the one I'm riding, because that's expensive and it's hard to make those choices. But what happened with me is, like, I had a complete bike, and then I broke my handlebars, so I bought new handlebars. I broke my cranks, so I bought new cranks. And like slowly everything turned into a custom. And then I had a custom, and that was cool. And that, I think that's kind of the route most people take, especially if you're not like super significantly wealthy. Bikes are expensive. It's crazy. Kov Slammy says, what do you prefer, gyro or brakeless? So I ride brakeless. Here's why. I'll tell you guys why. When I started out riding, I had brakes, and I would learn tricks with brakes. And every single time I went to do a trick, I would pull the brakes for no reason. Like I wasn't going too fast. It was just like a safety net thing. Okay. It was just, I would go for a 180 and right before I did it, pull the brakes just to slow down, just like a weird mental thing. And that would happen. I'd go to air a quarter. I'd pull the brakes right before I do a 3-tap. And so I had all of these tricks put together and I would use the brake as a crutch every single time. And so I just took them off. I ripped them off, never went back. I have not ridden brakes since then. And that was when I started when I was 13. Now I'm 26. So it's been 13 years later. Yeah. Kirk's a brake tapper. That's just what it is. Some people are brake tappers. And, like it's like a baby bird. Okay. Baby bird's in the nest. You got to throw that bird out of the nest and the bird flies. And it's like the same thing with your brakes. The brakes are your nest and you just got to get rid of them so you can really fly. You just got to get rid of them. But I've like ridden friends' bikes with brakes since then, and I'm not used to the hand placement. So bar spins, I get hung up on the brakes and just a lot of things that my style of riding is not adapted to it, so it doesn't work for me. Now, I think as a new rider, I think it's very important to ride brakes. I think all new riders should ride brakes because you don't have that level of bike control where you can get yourself out of sticky situations brakeless. It's pretty tough to do that brakeless. So anyway, that is definitely my thought on brakes. And if I did ride brakes, I would ride a gyro for sure. Yo, Samuel, he says he works as a 3D artist for games. Samuel made one of those Instagram filters, and I don't know how he did it, but it's pretty cool. You guys should check it out. You go into Instagram filters, and it calls a trick for you, and it's the coolest thing ever because if you're bored at the session, you can use this filter. You do the trick that it calls you, or you try that trick that it calls you, and it's a lot of fun. It spices up the session for sure. FM for five's close to landing the hot bar. Man, I've seen your progress. Are you in the Discord? I've seen your progress over the last few months, and it's really cool to see. Like the 180s, the 360s, killers. Oh, quick question right here. Do you have tips for rolling out from a fakie with a free coaster? I can try to lock with my pedals or something else. Oh, okay. This is a really good question because I think most people have an issue getting out. So free coasters are cool because you can fakie without pedaling, and it makes faking so much easier. It really does make faking so much easier. But getting out of the fakie's hard. And so what I would tell you to do, EK, is you don't do pedal pressure. So most fakies, most people try to get out of a fakie by turning the bars, applying pedal pressure, pivoting it around. That doesn't work with a free coaster. And so what you have to do is you have to half cab. That's the best way to do it. Or slider. I like to slider, but that's level 10. Okay, we're going to talk about half cab. And what you're doing is almost the exact same. You're turning the bar to get that pivot going. You're compressing your body when you turn the bar to like generate the momentum. And then you pop, you uncompress, and it just hops and you'll turn around. It's really hard to explain it without my bike, but that's really it. That's all you do. It's very simple. Half cab instead of pivot, and then you don't have to worry about it engaging. Kirk, you're a baby bird. You just need to fly, okay? Just fly. Take off those brakes and fly. Snacky says, do you think learning foot jam whips is better to do before trying to do it fly out? I think we hyper focus on a lot of tricks that don't really line up. And what I mean by that is, so like bar spins, a lot of people focus on pull-up bars before they do bar spins. And then they get in this weird thing where they can do a pull-up bar fine. They can do 100 pull-up bars, but they can't actually throw the bar when they hop. And that's because the trick is very different. A pull-up bar, the way your body position is, the way your weight is, the way everything is, operates so differently than the way a hop bar works. It's just a very different trick. It's the same concept, but it's a different trick. And I think it's the same for whips and foot jam whips. Doing a foot jam whip, you're throwing all your weight forward and you're jamming your foot into the tire. The whip's coming around. Like it's very, very different than how you would actually do a fly out whip. And so if learning a foot jam whip just helps you get better bike control and it helps you get the concept of the whip coming around, that's cool. But when you do it, it's not going to help you learn it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. It'll help you get the idea on it. It'll help you figure out how it works, but it's not going to help you actually learn the trick, because when you're doing it in the air, it's so different. You don't have that momentum generated by the foot jam to swing your bike around. You've got to do that all with your body. And it's just a very different thing. And so if you want to learn foot jam whips, do foot jam whips, but don't learn them with the expectation that they're going to help you learn tail whips later on, because I just don't think they do. I did when I was riding, when I was learning, I thought that was the case, but it really isn't the case. You're learning a whole new trick. Yeah, whoa, if you can find the battleship for 650 pounds then instead of 1240, that's insane. That sounds like a scam, but that's insane. My advice for pull-up bars is to don't do pull-up bars. Don't do pull-up bars. That is my advice. I don't only say that because I cannot pull up bar. To save my life, I cannot pull up bar. Never have, never will. I've tried. Not my thing. Not my thing. So I'm definitely salty towards them. But I can't do them. So I definitely can't give you advice. I'd say skip the pull-up bars and go straight to hop bars. You know, the guys that do Allen's BMX are really cool. I met them at the backyard jams, and they're cool dudes, down to earth. They love BMX. It's really cool. All right, guys, that is the end of this live stream. I feel like it's only been an hour, but I feel like I've been talking a lot. Doing that little 15-minute video about the top 5 bikes at the beginning kills me. Okay. Hey, it was so good to do this live stream again with you guys, because it's been a few weeks. I definitely missed you all, and we've got some big plans for 2023 with the channel and with the brand. Things are going to be changing, and I'm excited for you guys to see it. I'm so excited for you guys to be a part of this journey, and again, it was super good to hang out with you. We'll see you guys next Friday for the live stream. I'm going to be doing some stuff with the Discord for live streams, but not for a couple weeks. I've got to iron out some details and get that going. But all right, guys, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Get out, ride your bike this weekend, and we'll see you next Friday. Peace.